just change the subject. Another system of polarity that's very famous is yin and yang. What would you say is similar and different between your system and that system?
First of all, I don't know, it's Chinese, right? I don't know Chinese theology or spiritual systems. I've mainly focused on Western ones. A little Buddhism and Hinduism, but the idea is always the same. The idea is that every spiritual system brings to life some kind of an idea, principle, that is very important for us to learn. Let me tell you a little story. There used to be a king who who the planet was empty, you know, thousands of years ago. Maybe not this planet, a remote, desolate planet. Now the king had many children, 70 children. So he said, I want to populate the entire planet with my seed. I'm the king. I'm smart. Kings used to be that the kings used to be the enlightened ones. Pharaoh in Egyptian language means the one that is enlightened. That's why every pharaoh is called the pharaoh, regardless of his name. Okay? So the king so he calls his 70 children and he says, I want you to go to different places on the planet. Each one of you I will send to a different place. Many years from now, thousands of years from now, you will establish families, you will establish your tribe, you will meet again. Why? Because you will populate. Eventually you will meet. You will grow. You will globalize. How will you know in thousands of years that you were once brothers and sisters? I'll give you a riddle. Each one of you will get a different riddle. You'll get this, you'll get that. The solution to the riddle will unite you, each and every one, because there will be only one solution to all the different riddles. And so he calls his youngest son and says, to you I will give the key. You don't get the riddle. You get the key. But you have to watch the key. So they go on their ways and they populate and do a lot of babies and blah, blah, blah. Thousands of years are passing. And each one have kept his tradition, his riddle, in a particular way that is different than others. But because they forgot that they're from the same family, everybody thinks that their riddle, their philosophy, is the right one. Now, they all came from the same one because they all have the exact same key. And so all of them are the same. They're just looking at it from a slightly different perspective and emphasizing something else. So, for example, in my journey, Islam taught me submission. Christianity teaches, arguably, some people, love. So on and so forth. Buddhism teaches you the 51, don't know, gates of the mind. I mean, they analyzed it to shreds. Hinduism will tell you about every one of the 70,000 nadis in your body. And so on and so forth. Every tradition is focusing on something else. Why is the particular focus? Because of the mental polarity of the people who like it. That's why we're drawn to one. If you're feminine polarity, you will be drawn to Eastern traditions, naturally, because they're all about presence. If you're drawn to thinking, Christianity is all about thinking. Oh no, this is the narrative. This is what happened, right? Western spirituality. And so, years and years later, they meet, and they have no idea that they're the same, from the same family. Comes the little son and says, listen, I have the key. Fuck you, you have the key. Who the fuck are you to have the key? No, I have the key. I have been giving the key. Yes, you have the key. Everybody thinks they have the key. Now, does he have something that... the key is worthless unless you have a lock. Let's not confuse the carrier of the key and who owns the treasure. Okay? The idea is that practical metaphysics, Hebrew wisdom, is the treasure map. It tells you where to go. First you go here, then you go here. These are the steps, and this is the system. It's the manual for under the hood. It doesn't teach you how to drive. It doesn't tell you what kind of car you need. It doesn't tell you where to go. It just tells you how it works. It's the science of spirituality, and it connects everything else. So yin and yang in this particular case, the masculine and the feminine, the description of these various forces. And I'm sure if we dive into Chinese philosophy, we'll discover many different layers, tentacles that are connecting with this. There is not one spiritual system that I've studied that I was not able to bring back to this idea. And there is not one spiritual system that I studied that did not teach me something else about this map. And that's the idea. And I find that with people who came from a different tradition, especially Christianity here, when I used to present myself as a Kabbalist, which is a Hebrew word for a practical metaphysicist, nobody wanted to listen. The second I said I'm a metaphysicist, oh, that's interesting, tell me more. Because we have an innate rejection, because spirituality is it's very in the heart. You either believe or you don't. And when you believe, you want to believe that your spiritual system, the one that you believe, is conclusive enough, is big enough, is whole. And it's very hard to accept that there is one that connects all the dots. And mind you, I'm not saying Judaism. Okay, I'm saying Hebrew wisdom. And so that's the idea. They all say the same, or they all refer subjectively to the same objective truth. So.
Are you saying that the Hebrew wisdom is the little boy, the key?
Yes, I did not connect this piece of the puzzle. So to me, Hebrew metaphysics is the key to all other spirituality, to unlock, to understand. You can understand Buddhism you can understand Buddhism better when you understand. If you are of a particular denomination, a particular spiritual system, what I say is that understanding this can help you become stronger in your spiritual tradition. It can also cause you a spiritual crisis, because this shows us something else about spirituality, a different face of spirituality. If we say, hey, I don't want to understand what love is, if everything is logical, where's the magic? But we know how many petals are in flowers, that they're according to the Fibonacci series, and yet we still love flowers. Understanding the logic, the intellectual piece of the puzzle, doesn't mean that we can't appreciate and be in awe of the beauty. Charles Darwin had a spiritual crisis when he wrote The Origin of Species. He was a Christian man. I say evolution is the number one evidence to me as an individual that there is a system, that there is a creation. The idea itself of evolution is a brilliant mechanism. Who created that? And so it's all about perspective. It's all about how we perceive it. And that's the idea. Hebrew metaphysics is a way for us all to understand. When you know what's under the hood, when you realize, I'll give you one metaphor. Imagine that you are a germ inside somebody's body. So you travel to the liver, and you travel to the heart, and you're a germ, you go anywhere you want. I'm going to get in the bloodstream, now I'm going to the digestive system. Ooh, something's coming in. Now, I have no idea if it's a 400-pound trucker grabbing a McDonald's somewhere, and soon his heart is about to explode, and you will die too. Or it's a yogi that just stepped out of a yoga class and is eating alfalfa seeds, or whatever they call. You have no idea. You're a germ, you're inside the body. This is how we relate to spirituality. This is how we relate to the mind, to the brain. We see how the brain works. We've opened every aspect of the human body, but we don't see it from outside. We don't understand the connection between that which cannot be quantified and that which can be quantified. The abstract, the metaphysical, and the physical. Hebrew wisdom says there is a structure, there is a mechanism, and by understanding it, not only you will understand how to access spirituality in a way that you were not able before, not only you will understand how you think, not only you will understand how you relate to other people. why communication is so hard sometimes, why there is no consciousness around a particular topic because there's no language around that topic. Not only you will understand yourself, but you'll understand the world around you, you'll understand conflict, you'll understand that at the end of the day, we were all, when it comes to our consciousness, made of one image. A bridge between theology and science. The key.